Good evening, and welcome to another series of Invisible Hands. Like I was saying last week, we were talking about our second season and coming on the television show, and we were talking about going out into the community and reaching those people that are doing extraordinary things for the community. So our guest today, McKee, who is ministering out of First Lutheran Church, has so many amazing things that she is doing for the community to help people. And I would like to introduce you to her and let her tell you a little bit about herself. Michelle, welcome to Invisible Hands.
Thank you.
And it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
A pleasure to be here.
We have talked a little bit about what you do and how you help the community, and now I'm just given an opportunity to share it with our community. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. I am a mother of two amazing girls. I just had a granddaughter last week, so she came into the world. My biggest thing is I know everybody's heard of Pay It Forward, and I feel like that's been my life. Everybody's had troubles and hard times and ups and downs, and I'm just like everyone else. But I honestly can say that today I am just been blessed. I have just amazing family. Not just with my family, but with my churches that I work with. They're my family as well. And then the community, we just do so much, and I just love it that I always pay it forward. And so, and First Lutheran Church actually helped me get to where I am today. And so I try to do so much because they've done so much for me that I want to do so much for others. And so I started off, they have a Project Embrace program where it's a summer program. It lasts for a week. It's for kids that can't afford to go to camp. It's $10, and they do activities and go on field trips every day, and food is included. So, I mean, that's crazy. It's crazy how cheap it is. And so that's how I started off. I was a volunteer for that. Fell in love with the kids. Got more involved with my church and did Sunday school. And then after Sunday school, my pastor was talking and she was wanting to do a retail training program. They had a free clothing area, but she wanted to do more with that. And so she was going to go to like Walmart or Target and have someone come in and show people how to do this. And I'm like, why? I have 30 plus years experience, and I can help. So to prove myself on that, I organized a rummage sale, which we now have twice a year. And we needed to raise so much money, which we raised. And as the store, which is an amazing place, I'm going ahead of myself.
Oh no, that's quite all right. That's quite all right, because that was going to be my next question. I was going to ask you about Amazing Place and about how was it created, which you kind of went into it when you were talking about your pastor and his vision of opening a retail place. But I was going to ask you about how the Amazing Place, how the name came about.
Oh, yeah. So what I did, I wanted to keep the congregation involved. I just didn't want them to think like I'm a one person just taking over the church. So I got little gift cards and little prizes because I let the kids and the congregation pick the name.
Oh, okay.
And so we did a vote, and we had like the top 3 names. They're the ones that won prizes, which Amazing Place actually came from my 10-year-old daughter, Trinity. As I was writing the names down and reading them out loud, she's like, Mom, why don't you call it Amazing Place? And so I'm like, well, we can put it in the roster and see what people think. And so she actually was one of the top 3. And then everyone liked that one the best. So that's how it became Amazing Place. So now she's like, that's my store. But
kids are wonderful,
yes.
aren't they? Wonderful. You know, this Amazing Place that you're talking about, this retail store that you do for the community. Can you give us a little bit of insight about actually what takes place in Amazing Place?
Yes. So what I do is I went around and did some investigations. Like I went to major retail stores and small retail stores. I have a couple of telemarketing companies that I've worked with in the past. And so what I did is I went around them and said, hey, I'm wanting to do this new volunteer hardcore program that rolls them into a job after they're done with their training. And so I asked them, like, how many hours are they going to need to do? What are they going to need to get their foot in the door?
Right.
And so we came up with 128 hours, which a lot of people might think that's like a lot, but in reality, it really isn't a lot. And so I'm with them every step of the way. I do the hours with them. I get them an interview outfit. I do their resume. I do the interview process with them to get them comfortable, kind of like what we're doing here.
Right.
And I am with them like the day that if they need me to take them to the interview, I will take them to the interview. I'm just with them every step of the way, and even after the fact, which the testimonials are what I live for, and that's what makes it all worthwhile. I mean, even like my customers that come in, Amazing Place isn't just that program, because the thrift store, everything in there is $1 or less. I mean, you can get furniture for $1.
So just listen to what you're saying. Make sure that I understand right, and make sure that the audience understands. So what you're saying is that Amazing Place is a place where someone can go and get an outfit, and there's also a place where it helps prepare them for a job.
Yes.
And it also helps with their resume.
Yes.
That is a blessing. That is really and truly a blessing. And how you came up and developed all this through your church. Wow, that was really wonderful. Now, what inspired you to do that?
In 2011, I had a horrendous fire, and I almost lost my youngest daughter. If I would have waited 15 minutes, she wouldn't be here today. And the Red Cross helped me. And after that, we got our house broken into twice and lost even more things. And there was just a couple of, thrift stores and other places that did outreach for us and helped us out, that made me feel so grateful. And I'm like, I need to pay, just like I said, my whole life is just pay it forward. And so I feel like, this is just something I was supposed to do. And I don't know if you've ever heard of Restored Hope, but that is for women and single moms that are struggling, and they help them if they had addiction, or in my situation, it was I could have lost my kids and I would have been homeless, and so they let me live there, and it's a spiritual base. And after that, I went out of the spiritual base, but it was a great program, made me strong in who I am, part of who I am today. And so we had like a 5-year plan, and I always wanted to own my own business.
Right.
And I wanted to have it to where I would always retire or hire retirees because they have a hard time finding jobs, and have training classes for like art, because I love to do like crafts and arts and fun stuff like that. So it just dawned on me last year that I hit my 5-year goal for having my own store, but it's not the same. But it hit me so hard that I literally just went to my knees and cried, because this is even more than what I imagined of what I wanted, because I am helping people, and it's young and old. And my customers come in, and sometimes some of the congregation tease and say, "Oh, your therapy session's coming in today." They don't buy anything, but they sure talk. But it's just it's so heartwarming to know that they know it's a safe place to come to. They know that I don't judge. I accept all. And if they don't have the money, I don't turn them away. I'm like, I let them just walk out the door with what they need, because I've been there. I've had families that were in the same boat where I was, where they had a fire. I've had homeless gentlemen come, and he couldn't walk very well, so I gave him a walker. I mean, we help everybody, if they have the money or not. That's where our place comes in. I mean, even Jackson Elementary, we're right next door to Jackson Elementary, and so we do a lot with Jackson. We help the teachers out with the food and their supplies, and if their families need clothing, or if they know a child that needs clothing, we work with them. We also do with South High. They come to our church as well. And it was all because of Amazing Place. Word of mouth got us to where we are today, and because we don't advertise. I mean, we're just this little hole hidden away from everybody, and it's just word of mouth that gets out there.
Yeah, that's one thing that I found in living, is that when you have a giving spirit and you give, that opens the door, a gateway from heaven, to give back, because you can't outgive God, okay, because God is always giving. And sometimes when we go through life and we go through our own experience, through our own trials and through our own storms, that's something that builds us and makes us even stronger, for the use, of the gospel, And I think that what you're saying is such a blessing, and it's just so amazing, because people like you in the community that are doing something to help those that can't help themselves need to know what you're doing and what you have available to be a blessing.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I find that to be amazing, just like your place, amazing
it's a perfect,
place.
And and our slogan is "We change lives." Whether it be with something they needed for like hardly any money, or the biggest thing was, I can tell you this family. It was right when we kind of opened up in the store, and she kept coming in, was the mother. And she just loved coming in, and she didn't have a whole lot of money, and she just loved to shop and talk. And so she, and I kept telling her, I'm like, because she didn't have a job and everything, so I kept telling her about the retail training program that I had for her. I'm like, but the biggest thing is you can't pressure someone in it if they don't want to do it.
Right.
So I always just tell people about it, and if they come back and keep coming back, then eventually they're gonna want to have that structure. And her daughters, she has 2 daughters, one that dropped out of school, and the other one was 16 and was about going to do the same thing. And so I told her, I was like, well, what are you doing? what are you doing to set an example for your children?
Mm-hmm.
And she goes, well, what do you mean? I said, well, do you have, structure? And she goes, well, I don't go to church. I'm like, the church has nothing to do with it. Just because we're in a church,
Mm-hmm.
I said building structure for your children is going to help them. I said, you know about the retail training program. You have a little bit experience in the retail industry or customer service. Let me help you.
Right. Okay.
And so she was like, okay, well, I'll give it a try. I'm like, you're here almost every day anyways, and so as she was going through that, her oldest daughter started getting her GED because she was too much out of school.
Right.
Her 16-year-old got on honor roll. She did the program, and then 6 months after she did my program, she became a manager at the store that she got hired at.
All right.
Her oldest daughter went to Job Corps. Her youngest daughter is getting a full ride to UNO. And it just took that one little bit, that little foot in the door. And she comes in all the time. She doesn't buy anything from my store now because, she's good off. But she still comes in and gives me the hugs and is so grateful for everything that I have helped her with. But I was like, it wasn't just me. She did it too. We did it together.
Yeah, by the influencing of Amazing Place.
Yes.
That is, and that is what we need. And those are the testimonies and the stories that our community needs to hear.
Yeah.
We don't hear enough of positive things happening around us, that's close around us. And we need to hear more about the opportunities that we have in front of us to be able to move forward. What you're doing in Amazing Places is such a blessing. And I'm just so thankful that we have the opportunity to have you on the show to talk about everything that you're talking about, Amazing Place. I mean, from the startup of Amazing Place, what a story. Your 10-year-old daughter coming up with the name, and you and your experience of dealing in marketing out to the telemarketing people and doing resumes and clothing, and that is mind-blowing information. And what you do for the community, I commend you on it.
Thank you.
Commend you on it. And I think that more churches should offer those type of things out to the community, because that's what changed lives. That is the story that you can tell anyone that could uplift them, about that young lady coming in and working and then finding a job and changing her kids' lives. But that's what we're supposed to do as Christians.
Yes.
We're supposed to change lives, and we're supposed to make a difference, and we're supposed to be that light in a dark place. And you have just amplified that by what you just did, what you're doing, what you started, and I'm going to encourage you to keep on doing it.
Oh, I am. It's my passion, it's my love, and I've had the retail training program for like 2.5 years now, and I've had 10 people graduate the program.
That's awesome.
And stick with it. So I'm grateful for everyone, and I'm wanting to hopefully continue, and the more people know, come on down. I mean, we've got so much that we can offer them if they don't want to do retail. I mean, we've got the pantry, the choice pantry. We have longer hours for that, and even Saturdays for people that work during the week. They can come in on a Saturday, the third Saturday of the month, and it's like going grocery shopping. You pick out your own stuff. It's not like we have a bag for you and you out the door. So we make it to where you're comfortable and loved and respected.
Wow, so that means that you have a lot of things going on in Amazing Place from the point where you started out to where you're at now. Yeah,
I mean, we're wanting to continue to grow. So we have the space in our church, and we're in Midtown area, so we're in a nice area to to where people are needing to use our space and have ideas, they can come on down and help us grow.
Well, you know, Michelle, one of my visions that I had for this season, for this year, is that I wanted to talk with different people that are doing different things in the community and maybe create a network where you're doing amazing places and the things that you're doing there to change people's lives, to help clothe them, feed them. You know, there might be someone on the other side that might be, I talked last week with someone that was doing a prison ministry that goes out and help people when they're coming out of prison to get them acclimated back into civilian life and help them find jobs and, you know, and be their support system. So if I was able to get and connect and network where these people can talk to one another and help support one another, that'll create even a bigger network of help, which amplifies the name Invisible Hands.
Right.
You know, so that's my vision and that's my goal. You know, so I pray that you continue to do what you're doing, and I hope that you'll come back one day and maybe we can have like a group discussion with a few more people that's doing some of the things that you're doing.
Oh, that would be amazing. I'm on board.
All right.
I'm on board for that. So.
All right, that sounds good. So thanks again for coming on Invisible Hands. We embrace what you're doing, and anything that we can do to help support that, we're right there. We're right there.
That's great. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So is there anything that you would like to say to the audience out there that's watching?
Just if you have ideas or would love to help, First Lutheran Church is 31st and Jackson is our, I don't know if you want to give the address out. And their doors are open Monday through Thursday, 8 to 4. I am there in and out between my jobs. But you guys are more than welcome to find out. You can go to our website, which is flcomaha.org. Amazing Place has a Facebook page, which is Amazing Place/FLC. You can check that out. It's got our hours and everything on there. And if you like that page, you can get 5 free items in the store just by pushing like. So that's what I always tell people when they come in for the first time. I'm like, hey, if you got a smartphone, push like, and these things are free. So
I'm going to have to do that myself. With that said, I just want to say thank you to everyone that has tuned in this evening to watch Invisible Hands. We are continually trying to do things better, come out with more information to help our community. So we thank you with all of our hearts, and my prayer is that you all be blessed and live a successful life. So, and my name, Terry Scales, your host of Invisible Hands, and Michelle McKee, the guest of Amazing Place. So we just want to say good night.
good night.
This afternoon had the vision for our title, Invisible Hands.
But within the parent body, there are certain ministries that are tasked with coming alongside of the local church and helping them in those particular areas. And some of those are the area of evangelism, the area of prayer, area of foreign mission, home mission, prison ministry. One of our new exciting ministries at parent body level is re-entry, where we'll be working alongside of the local church to help people transition from incarceration back into society, integrating them not only into the life of the local church, but also into society as a whole.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Invisible Hands, a meaningful media ministry.
Well, this past year in June, the New Era Congress of Christian Education celebrated its 98th year. Wow. And this was quite a celebration for us, and it actually allowed us to truly bring to reality, if you will, the mission of the Congress of Christian Education.